All right, you guys, let's give it up one more time for Bela and keep it going for Kelly. Come on up, Kelly. Hey, Kelly.
I could not have asked for a better manager at Subway. Greg, he really was the greatest guy. When we would prep veggies and make tuna, we would talk about current events. He remembered all the classes I was taking my first semester at Florida State. It was the perfect job, except for my coworker, Angela. She was the worst. If you ordered a 6-inch from her, she either gave you 3 inches or 10. She never figured out how to cut it in half. She was always talking, but knew nothing. One day she was rambling how evil Canada is and said that they run their people over with tanks. I go, that's China, Angela. Read a book. Anytime a song was playing, she would say, I love you too. That's Depeche Mode. How dare you, Angela? One time it was game week and the line was out the door. She and I were the only ones working. She laid on the floor the whole shift saying she had a migraine. I had to step over her making all the sandwiches, ringing it in. So one night when I was working the late shift, Greg walked out. It was around 10 p.m. with Angela. And my coworker, Autumn, said, look who's leaving with his mistress. Now, I'm like, no, don't even joke about that, Autumn. It's not, Greg is a good guy. He was married to a beautiful architect. She goes, Kelly, why would a 35-year-old man leave a store at 10 p.m. with an 18-year-old girl? He's obviously going to fire her because she's the worst sandwich artist of all time. So minutes go by, and I noticed we were kind of off a road. We only shared the parking lot with an oil change place, but they had closed hours ago. And there was a car that pulled in front of us, and 2 men were just in the car looking at us. And so I go over to the window and cleaning off some tables, and I look out, and both of them look at me, and I immediately am aware that we are about to be robbed. And so I go over to Autumn and let her know. And so we decided to just be really busy. We started baking bread and fluffing up lettuce and tomatoes because we did have a phone, but it was in Greg's locked office. And this was 1992, before cell phones, before Twitter hashtags. So I just assumed if they saw us busy, they wouldn't rob us. But I slowly started to take money out of the drawer and hide it under the boiled ham. There was just something in me like, they're gonna get some of Subway, but not all of Subway's money. So then I realized at the time we had this sticker program that if you bought 12 6-inches, you got a free sandwich. But the stickers came on a roll this big. So I started to crawl on the ground to get, and Autumn goes, stop it, Kelly, they're gonna be onto you. But they would have been able to make thousands of subs. They would have had free subs for years. Not on my watch, not on my watch. So I get the stickers down, and I brought them into the walk-in cooler. But it's been like 20 minutes, and they still haven't robbed us. So we're like, what's going on? Because they just kept looking at us. Well, then they started looking behind them, and I whispered to Autumn, I think they have accomplices coming. This is getting, and where is Greg? He hasn't come back from firing Angela. So Autumn says, you know what? I'm gonna go out, I'm gonna move my car around back so we have a getaway car in the back. And I go, no, Autumn, that's too dangerous, don't do it. But she was convinced this was the only way we were gonna survive. So she goes out the front door, I see her get in her car, and that's when I realized she's probably gonna drive home and leave me here with these 2 invaders. But she didn't. She was knocked on the back door, I brought her in. I couldn't believe she did that for me, and now we have a getaway car. So we get back, and they must have knew our plan because they were gone. We beat the invaders. And right at that time, Greg walked in with Angela. She was so disheveled. It was very clear they had just had sex. And I used to, whenever Greg had a day off, I would fill him in on all the shenanigans that had gone down on Subway that day. And so he goes, "Hey, Kelly, how'd the shift go?" And I looked down. I just said, "Fine." We could have actually been very injured. That was very dangerous, the situation he put us in. And I decided Greg was no longer worthy of my stories anymore. Thank you.